Hi, I'm David Norris and I'm serving up the perfect podcast, Pompey Platter with Russ, Daz and Haz. Play up, Pompey.
He used to be a waiter, did David Norris. Well, he's served up the perfect cocktail here.
Jarrett back to goal, Lang. Needs a bit of help. Goodness from Lang. What can he do? Still there, Lang. Lang! You wouldn't believe it! Cross comes into the near post. Headers into the net! Shaughnessy! Surely Pompey are heading for the championship! Portsmouth are promoted as League One champions!
Hello and good evening, or good afternoon, good morning, whenever you are listening, and welcome to Pompey Patter, episode 23, Boring Burnley. As ever, it is myself, Haz, and we have Russ and Daz as well. Good evening, boys. How are we?
Yeah, all good, mate. You?
Yeah,
Have we come out of our coma from Saturday?
No, but thing is, I think the fact that we played better and made Burnley even more boring, to be honest. But
That's it.
They're
Right.
awful, Burnley, aren't they?
They are.
that's the Burnley review done, right?
That's that. Yeah. So we will review the Burnley game. We will preview Sheffield United away. Obviously, we are away to Sheffield United on Saturday, and then we're at home to Cardiff on the Tuesday. So we'll preview that as well. We will have a Haz versus Daz. We will have a triple header of Harry's Who Am I? Deadline day edition. Excuse my language there. Where we will have three players that all joined the club on a deadline day. Doesn't have to be January, but we will get there. And then a bit of goodbyes to a few players that left after myself and Daz did a transfer day, deadline day special. A few, it kind of all happened after we left, didn't it, Daz? So we will go on and cover that, and then a bit of any other business. So, Burnley, and as Daz kind of touched on just a minute ago, we were probably the better team, and if a team deserved to win, it was probably us out of it, don't you think, Daz?
Yeah, I mean, anyone that asked me about the game, I think they were quite surprised to hear that we were the better team, and I'm not one of these like fans that will just say it blindly. Like for me, especially against a team like Burnley, because the last thing you want to do is be saying like that sort of thing to other fans, because they'll want to go and have a look, and then you don't want to embarrass yourself. But no, I thought, and don't get me wrong, I think Burnley was slow in what they were doing. It kind of looked like Burnley were happy with a draw. I mean, from the very start of the game, they were sort of slowing the game down and that sort of stuff. But I also think that we were really confident going into it, which is good considering obviously the bad result, the two bad results we had like during the week, and obviously the other one on the Saturday. I think what massively helped that was having both Atkinson and Conor Shaughnessy there. I think that just helped breed confidence through the whole 11, and even like the subs that came on, I thought they all did a decent job. Yeah, I think no one would have complained if we had gone in at half time 1 up. I don't think there was really any, not that I can remember off the top of my head, any real clear cut chances for us. But
I think it was pretty much like it was one of them. It was definitely like a 0-0 at half time, but we could have snatched it before the end, couldn't we?
Yeah, and I was impressed with us. I like the way that we were playing particularly well, and where we set up well was the fact that in the first half, I think Burnley majority of the time went long quite a bit, because obviously the way we pressed them, and when they did go short, I thought we pressed them really well again. We did well, we set up, whether or not that's down to the pitch size, I don't know. But obviously we have a lot of confidence at home. And I'm glad that we sort of did better than we did, obviously, against Millwall at home on the Tuesday? Oh, Wednesday. I can't remember what day that was. But yeah, I felt that sort of the changes that were brought in on Saturday, I think they really helped us. I think it really did breed some confidence through the side. I I was going to say something else, but it totally slipped my mind when I thought about it a second ago. But I thought into the. I don't know if you want me to go through to the second half as well. But I suppose we'll just talk the game as a whole, and obviously
not a lot to talk about.
No, not really. And I suppose the only thing in the second half was James Trafford's taking every chance to time waste, which if that's against Millwall, I can understand it, but against a side like Burnley, you just felt that it's sort of not unnecessary, but it was kind of a compliment because they knew they were in for a game, and they knew that sort of there's a chance they could lose this game, and obviously the only real, I wouldn't even call it a massive clear-cut opportunity, but that chance from Bishop at the end, which then led on to people like questioning Bishop, which is absolutely insane. I think he'll be disappointed. You could kind of see after he hit it, he was disappointed. And I saw some of the footage after the game, and you could see the way he was walking and his sort of facial expression. You could tell that he felt if he had got that on target, he would have scored. And he probably should have got it on target.
But the way the people going on was like he missed a tap in.
Yeah, and that's not the case. And
it was winding me up because don't get me wrong, should he have hit the target? Yes.
Yeah.
But are you scoring that against Trafford at the moment? Probably not. Anyway,
because he's whether he's in form or not, he's one of the best keepers in the league, despite he might be a complete dick.
I mean, he's a dick, but the save he made.
He was
from,
at the corner of the 6-yard box, but about 10 yards out.
Yeah,
it's I mean, I don't know what you're expecting, to be honest. If you're really expecting, him to score,
you expect him to score that's a hell of a finish.
Yeah,
right.
I think 8 or 9 times out of 10, he probably gets that on target. Usually,
and what 1 out of 10 that goes in.
Maybe, yeah, and that's like I said, the way James Trafford is being playing, and obviously that I don't know if it was a double save, but the way he spread himself out when Richie.
The one against Richie, I thought that was, as soon as it fell to Richie, I was like, this is a goal, and then he come from nowhere and managed to block it. It was unbelievable.
No, exactly, and I think we did enough to win the game. Like I walked out the ground and I can't remember. I think it's the same way I felt about the Norwich game, where I thought we've got a draw, and if you'd offered me that at the start of the game, I would have snapped your hand off. But walking away, I'm kind of disappointed we didn't win, which is good, which is what you want. And picking up any points at all are good, especially against teams towards the top. And I think everyone would probably say at the start of the season, let's try and make sure we beat teams around us. But then when we play the big teams like Burnley, Leeds and that, just try and get a point at least. And the good thing for us was that even though we didn't win the game, we didn't lose it. And that's something, obviously, we need to take into our away performances, because I don't think anyone would mind taking a draw right now where it's Sheffield United.
I think we'd all bite your hand off for that. Bishop's chance... that last chance had an XG of 0.13, so it's not expecting a whole lot, basically.
I expecting it the target or the bar or the post or something like that. But for those who seem to think that was like an easy chance, I was completely baffled by that. Really,
but also I think it's bizarre. It always feels like there has to be a scapegoat, and I know Pack's kind of been it for the last few weeks because he is playing out of position, and I actually think he's done pretty decent for someone who's never played centre-half before, 34-year-old moving into centre-half from midfield. He's had to learn that position as well as, be a leader. So, yes, he has made errors, and they are silly errors, and he will admit that, but he's done all right. But now he'd gone, there had to be a new scapegoat, and it felt like Bishop was it because he hasn't scored in a few games. But you have to remember that he had fucking heart surgery right on the end of July. He had no proper pre-season like everyone else did. He's come back. He made an instant impact. The amount of points we've picked up since he's come back is drastically higher than it was than before he was here, since that Preston game. And it's not just he's the kind of striker that's not just his goals that actually make him and make his performance good. It's okay, against Millwall he had a bad game because Cooper and Tanganga absolutely kept him out of the game and nullified him completely. But a lot of the time he's there, he's the first point of attack, and it's the ball up to him, and there'll be a ball up to him, and he'll chest it, and he'll keep it in his feet. He'll shepherd. He'll keep the defence off, and he'll get it out to one of the wings, and then we can push up from then. Sometimes we're so deep in our own half that he's the one that's there to keep it up the pitch and let the team come out and get higher. Without him being there, if it's a Yengi and an Omani or a Waddingham, they aren't doing that. Just because he hasn't scored, it doesn't mean he's not having an impact in the game. He
No,
is the best striker we've had in bloody years, and I don't know what else you're really expecting, to be honest.
No, and the thing is, like against Millwall, I don't think he even had a bad game. It was just him up against two very good centre backs.
Hey,
And
he was.
then when
I think we discussed it. For me, that was more Mousinho's fault. It weren't working.
should have had support.
Yeah, I mean they should have put two up there.
Yeah.
And then that way Bishop, can get away from his man then. But he's to literally be sandwiched in between two giants is unfair.
And then when people are saying, is like obviously when the balls were going into the box, which I kind of agree with, the fact that he couldn't get to certain ones, or obviously that one chance against Millwall where he sort of like scuffed it a bit. But he's battling against two absolute units, and then you're expecting him to have the energy to get everywhere. And you can't expect that of him. And as you said, Russ, he needed some support. Against Burnley, he didn't need that as such because I don't think Burnley really concentrated on defending much. I don't think they did much at all, but they didn't concentrate on being a solid unit as much as Millwall did. So Bishop was able to do a bit more. But it's what he does off the ball. Like, he does this thing where he starts an offside position, then he doesn't even win most of his headers. He just backs into the centre back, or just nudges him a bit, and we sort of play from there, and we get the ball and like get the first and seconds from that. So don't get me wrong, I haven't got an issue with someone saying, Bishop didn't play particularly well this game or that game. But I saw some people saying that he's not championship quality, and it's like, please, just like, everyone's entitled to opinion, but it's just sometimes just gets a bit silly. I think people try to be edgy and be like they want to be that unpopular opinion sort of thing, and it's good boring. And if Bishop didn't come back like he did, we'd be relegated by now. We'd be below Plymouth, in my opinion.
Oh,
yeah, we probably would be.
No doubt.
I want to just ask quickly before we go kind of second half onwards. Connor Roberts should have been sent off. Yeah,
he did that. If I lay down, rolling around, I might get away with this. And he didn't even get yellow. I was fuming.
But that's why he did it. He knew he'd done it again, and I think he'd realised he'd kind of fucked it almost. And he went, well, if I stay down, the ref might forget. And fair play to him, it worked because he did forget.
Yeah, but, and that's the thing. I don't have a problem with him doing it. That's where the referee has to be stronger. And
the referee should be sending him off. Also, what is that stupid little tash he had on his face?
What, Connor Roberts?
Yeah,
I didn't even see it. I'm so far back.
Mate, honestly,
struggle seeing past where it knows sometimes. So
it was just like a 80s PE teacher, kind of vibe.
Well, it was like thinking. This showed you how weak the ref was. I think it was when Connor Roberts got booked the first time. He walked off about 40 yards, and the ref was clearly calling him back. You could see it, and he just kept walking off. And it was like,
that's when the ref should be stronger, and then book him again.
The ref was awful all game.
Yeah,
he was generally awful all game.
The other thing the ref was David Webb, wasn't it? The other thing in the second half was the Dazelle clearance off of the line. We've had plenty of chances to look back and watch it. Do you both think it's a penalty?
I've seen two angles. One looks like it hits him in the arm, then the knee. Then I've seen an angle where it looks like it's his knee, then the arm. And it's one of them ones where you don't only have to look at it so many times. the ref can only give it with his, what you can see.
Yeah.
See,
It's hard.
I don't think it is a penalty. Personally,
if it hits the knee first, it's not a penalty. You can look the rules up. If the rules are, if it hits your body first, then your arm, it's not a penalty.
I think if, just say we had VAR, and I hope we never have it, but if that went to VAR, that wouldn't be, the decision would be made straight away. They'd have a good look at that, and they'd have a lot of looks at that, which makes me think that...
that means it's not clear and obvious.
No.
Which then means the ref hasn't made a mistake.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, he had his hands, like, into his body, so they weren't in an unnatural position. Like, he literally had his, like, it's not unnatural to put your knee
either way, even if his arms weren't there, it still would have hit his knee. So
yeah, they were tucked in, weren't they? So
yeah, it wasn't.
And even if his hands were down a bit, like, the ball still would have hit his hand at some point. So there's no way of his hands getting out of the way, in my opinion. I mean, if it's for us, we're going mental when we want a penalty. But then when you look back at it, you think,
it's one of those.
You're feeling hard done by, aren't you? If that's against us, but I still don't think it's a penalty.
Nah, not for me. But I mean, it's easy for us to say that because it's against us. But I'd like to think I'd be pretty level-headed and say if we didn't get given it, like, I'd like to think I'd be like, yeah, I agree with the ref on that.
Speaking of Dazal, though, I want to harp on the point of I've been his number one fan since day one.
You have, and he's looked absolutely immense in the last few games. He kind of had a bit less to do after Isaac Hayden's arrived, and I think that's kind of good because it enables him to stay fresh because you've got that extra cover for him.
Ridiculous yellow he got for within the first 50 seconds of the game, and it weren't even a yellow. And then that bloke, whatever his name is, didn't even get a card. Didn't even get a yellow for what he did, but that should have been a red card. It was
I know, it's bizarre, but also the mentality from him. I thought he did really well. I did the gaffer of the day for Millwall. He came on and he got my man of the match then because he looked like he was trying to get about and do stuff. But also, he got my man of the match against Burnley as well because he was just immense. And even after getting that yellow within the first couple of minutes, he was exemplary. He didn't dive in or anything. He was just top quality, and you can see where that championship standard player is, which was wasn't there at the beginning of the season. But I think that was just kind of down to fitness and just getting used to the team. And now he's there. He only signed on a 1-year deal. Once this Bishop contract is out the way, which we're supposedly doing, he's probably one of the next ones I'd have in line saying, here, add another 2 years onto that.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't want him, even if we go down, maybe he leaves, maybe put a clause in there, but if not, you get him signed down to a longer term deal.
He might not do that though. He might want to wait till the end of the season because especially if he plays well,
he'll get a club at the Championship, no doubt.
Yeah, so he might want to hold on that, which I'd have more respect for him for doing it because if we're the ones that only offered him a year's contract, then he's well within his rights to say I'm going to wait till the end of the season. Because if we wanted him, we should have signed him up for longer. So yeah, I would probably reckon that he might wait as well.
Club-wise, though, you'd try and entice him, though, wouldn't you? You'd give it a go.
Yeah, maybe, but that's the thing. I suppose
we don't know, do we? What goes on?
No. Well, we only know because one of the other journalists said about it, didn't he? Mike McGrath said about us going for Bishop on a longer deal, which I think is a need.
100%. I saw that because I can't remember who put some stuff about Dazal up, and I saw a couple of QPR fans kind of saying that they regretted they let him go. I think they were.
Well, they had him on loan last season, didn't they?
No, he was there permanently.
Or was he there permanently?
You're thinking of Hayden, I think.
Oh, it was Hayden that was. Sorry, ignore me.
Yeah, but I think they were I saw a couple of QPR fans a little bit annoyed and they were saying, I told you we shouldn't have let him go.
I remember now. He went on loan at Birmingham.
Yeah, and the way and how QPR are playing now, that's a compliment, I suppose. Because
because if they're only like 3 points off the playoffs or something, aren't they? So if they're now up there and they're saying, well, actually, Dazal would still do well in our team.
Well, we've got to remember how gutted Sheffield United's manager was that time for them, and that's that was what I couldn't.
He was training with them for a couple of weeks.
when people were getting on his back early on in the season, I just didn't understand because I thought, fucking Sheffield United wanted to sign him. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, I think he did play a couple of pre-season games. I think he at least played one because I've actually seen him in a Sheffield United kit.
Definitely played at least one.
Yeah, I've seen an image of him in a Sheffield United kit. So, yeah, so I think the recruitment team did well to get it sort of swooping under the radar because I'm guessing that sort of Sheffield United were probably just saying to him yeah, we're still looking at you, and then we've come in and said, look, we want you, we will sign you right now,
and you'll start.
Yeah, and you'll start. So I'm guessing that's what probably would have swayed it.
Yeah. I also think on Saturday, once him and Hayden were the pairing in the middle, that was kind of when I felt we really bossed the game because I thought Potts was shocking, probably his worst performance.
He's been since Hayden came in, and he's kind of had a mixture of being with Hayden and being with Dazelle. He's looked really off, and he's lost that confidence. I know he had that kind of bit of magic against Middlesbrough, but I thought he had a really poor game against Middlesbrough as well. And it's kind of since then, really.
The rest, maybe on Saturday, I know I'm jumping the gun here, I would actually start Hayden and Dazelle in the middle.
Oh, yeah, for an away game, bit of beef and a bit of physicality in midfield, definitely.
Yeah, and obviously that'll be different to because obviously they started together, didn't they, against West Brom? But the difference is with that game is that I'm sure we've got actual two very capable centre backs playing alongside each other. So you'd like to think we'd be very solid through there.
We were so solid in the back; it was so nice to watch.
It makes such a difference. And again, it's no slight on Pack at all.
No.
It's not a dig at Pack at all.
Yeah,
but having an actual back four playing in the correct positions and as a unit is so good, and it just felt like the team were more comfortable.
Yeah, it settles everyone. It's like having a keeper that's prone to throw a clanger, like
Josh Griffiths.
Yeah, as soon as you have a good base and you have players behind, especially because a load of my mates are midfielders and attackers and stuff like that, and they've always said that when you've got a good back four, back five with the keeper behind you, it gives you more confidence to go out and express yourself a bit more. Because you know that, do you know what, if I lose this, it's not going to end up in a goal. Where, I mean, when we played West Brom, any mistake that happened to pretty much turn into a goal, didn't it? So having those at the back is just, I mean, I've never been so relaxed in ages that when a team in the top three were breaking on us, I felt we can deal with this.
Well, Shaughnessy and Atkinson have become our 13th centre-back pairing this season.
Lucky number 13.
That is just absolutely insane.
And Atkinson, I just think what a signing that is. That is as critical as I've been of our window. He has probably been the signing of the window.
Yeah,
but don't fall in love with a lone player, Russ. Come on.
I've not fallen in love, but I do enjoy watching him. I ain't gonna lie. Especially, I find it
the trouble is that now and it was kind of when Bazunu was here, and we went from Bazunu to the next keeper. It kind of, you were judging. Was it Griffiths after Bazunu?
Yeah.
You've gone from judging Bazunu, which is like a really talented up and coming Premier League standard keeper at your doorstep one day, but then you go from that to babyface rubbish keeper Josh Griffiths.
Well, don't hear Bristol Rovers fans call him that. He was their player of the season.
Mate. Well, Portsmouth-wise, he was dog shit, right?
No,
it's going to be the same. Is that we're seeing Atkinson here now, and next season there's going to be a lot of pressure on Bowat because he's going to be, I would imagine, be our starting left-sided centre half next year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a hell of a lot of pressure on a young set of shoulders because he's only 22.
But I'll tell you what, we've got a chance of signing Atkinson.
I don't think so.
Because have you seen the issues about Bristol City have got at the moment?
No, well, they've got some financial trouble, have they?
Yeah, they pretty much released a statement of them saying, we kind of got no money. I think they haven't done much in the window because they were fuming that they let Atkinson go to us because they got no defence.
Yeah.
let another defender go, and they haven't replaced Atkinson, so they're still weak in defence. So,
Well, the trouble is, you've just forked out $500,000 on Bowat, didn't you? So you're going to go and sign another one, another left-sided one that they'll both probably want to start.
but then how long does Bowat get fit? And look at Paul. We went back to when September. Doing.
Yeah, you might want to get like another like experience, and especially now we've had Atkinson. You'd like to think the recruitment and the club as a whole will know exactly what kind of centre back we're going to need. We're going to need one like that, and whether that is him that comes back, which I don't know. I don't think he will, because I think I saw something about that statement, but then reassuring fans that players like Atkinson would come back. But don't quote me on it. But
then you put a bit of pressure on the club, when you know
that's it. If you went in with a cheeky offer, like as a fan, like, I'd 100% take Atkinson permanently, but I just don't think the club would do it. No. But then again, you can tempt them, can't you? You can go in with an offer, and it might make them think twice, because they might be in even worse financial problems by then. You don't know. So it's so many months away. You have to just wait and see where they're at and where we're at. Because if we've gone down, we've got absolutely no chance. But if we've stayed up, you might go, well, hang on a minute. He knows the team. He's settled in. He might want to come back. So we'll just have to wait and see on that.
Definitely.
Anything else to do with Burnley, lads?
No. I think that's...
No?
Spent more time talking about players in the game, because that's how shit it was.
Well, that's it. We've talked about players more than the actual match. Right. Let's go to fixtures, predictions. Obviously, the Burnley game, Russ went for a 2-1 loss with Bishop to score. Daz went for a 2-1 win with Lang to score. And I went for a 0-0, which was the first of the season that someone predicted that. And we agreed that it was an extra bonus point for no goal scorer. That was correct, yeah?
Yeah. Fair play, mate.
Russ, why did you agree to this?
Because I genuinely think that's fair.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
Do you know what? I could have argued, because you actually get 2 points for goal scorer, and
that's what I mean. Yeah.
So I've accepted 1 for not having 1. So
I felt like it was fair to, like, you don't get the 2, because to get the correct goal scorer is harder than predicting a team not to score, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So the 1 point, it was fair for it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Just let you know, I did actually put a bet on us to win 2-1, because when I said it on the pod and you guys said put a bet on, I was in the pub just before the game and I was like, go on, it's worth a cheeky five.
I just can't believe I thought Burnley were going to score 2 goals. Fuck that there.
They didn't look it, did they?
No.
So anyway, that changes the table a little bit. So you both, Daz is still on 17, Russ is still on 18, and I go from last to first. I'm now on 20 points.
Jeez.
Nice.
So a 4-point haul has saved me and pulled me back in. Right, Sheffield United away. They have had 3 wins and 2 losses in their last 5 games. They bizarrely lost at home. Their home form's been a bit iffy. They lost to Cardiff at home, and they've lost to Hull at home.
Cardiff was FA Cup with a weakened team.
Oh, was it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
There's about 2 fans in the stadium as well, I think.
Oh, It was that game, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. But the Hull one was definitely a shock.
Yeah, they got
it?
battered by Hull. Yeah. They weren't a freak result. Hull fully deserved that. I watched that game.
But then they've won the other games. They beat Norwich 2-0. They've beat Swansea 2-1, and then their most recent was a 1-0 away win at Derby. They've made a fair few signings as well. They've signed Harry Clark from Ipswich on loan. They signed Rob Holding on loan from Palace. They signed Hamza Chowdhury on loan from Leicester.
Don't know who that is.
But maybe
you need to up your football knowledge.
I think
obviously they brought in Ben Brereton Diaz back in from Scum as well on loan.
No, he's had his haircut now, so it's just Ben Brereton.
Okay. So they've been busy in the getting some loans and kind of fulfilling that squad, but they're in a similar position as us where they've got 6 loans now. So again, they are going to have to leave someone out just like we are. Obviously, our last 5, we've had 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw, exactly in that order as well. They are third in the table. Played 13, 19 wins, 6 draws, and 5 losses. Referee is Oliver Langford, as I do a little ref watch on it. He has reffed us 11 times so far in his career. 3 wins, 2 draws, and 6 losses, which doesn't bode too well. He's reffed us 3 times this season. Our opening game of the season against Leeds, and then both dismal performances away to Cardiff and Derby. So, let's go to Russ first for Sheffield United. Your thoughts and prediction, please, mate.
I would take I just don't want us to get battered again. I really don't. I just don't want us, and that's not because of. It's more us than Sheffield United, if that makes sense. I'm more worried about us. I'm hoping with a settled. Oh God, Harry, hell no. He's offside. That's all right.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm more concerned. I was more concerned about us, but then I'm also thinking, well, we've shot Nessie, Atkinson, Swanson, and Ogilvie as your back four. You'd like to think we'd be a bit more better at the back. But then, because I replied to someone the other day who were banging on about how good Ogilvie is, and it's like, yeah, but the issue is away from home, he is shocking.
So do you bring in Bramall then?
No, oh God, no.
No?
No. He's a more of attacking wing back, isn't he? Than a defensive one, from my understanding, anyway.
Yeah, but he's got pace to beat the likes of Raksaki if he's still.
I would try
Brewster.
play, I personally think we should line up different, literally have a different formation away from home.
4-4-2.
No, I think we'd be even more open. I don't know what does Sheffield United play.
Do they play that 3-4-2-1 or
a 4-2-3-1 according to FOTMob?
But because they used to do that overlapping. Right,
yeah,
left,
he stopped that towards the end of his first tenure at Sheffield United.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 4-2-3-1 apparently.
So maybe more like a, in defence of 4-5-1, but in attack of 4-3-3, something like that. And maybe have a midfield 3. Definitely, I definitely would have Giselle and Hayden playing, whether with Potts or without Potts.
So if you're playing a 4-3-3, it's going to either be Pock or but.
If we're playing
Potts,
3,
really,
if we're playing 3 in the middle, then obviously with Potts. But if we're sticking with the usual formation we play, then it'll be Giselle and Hayden for me. Which is probably the way we'll go. I can't see Mousinho changing it. So if we have Hayden, Giselle, and that back 4, I like to think that we'll be a bit more solid. But I still think it's a hard task going there to win. I know Hull done well, but I'm just going to go for it just because I think eventually we're going to do something away from home. If I had to put money on it, I'd go Sheffield United, but I'm going a 1-1 draw.
Goal scorer.
Whenever everyone criticises Bishop, he normally scores the next game. So Bishop.
Daz.
I think for us, what we need to change, what we haven't it doesn't look like what we've done in most of our away games. Is just kind of concentrate on not conceding. I think, especially against Sheffield United at their place, try and frustrate them. Just be nice and solid because now we've got the players to be solid. For me, I think just try and frustrate them. Obviously, I know I'm saying try not to concede, but I don't think
bollocks.
Oh, Liverpool scored.
Yes. Carry on.
Because it can't have been my opinion on my chat because obviously it's really good. So there's no way of disagreeing what I've got to say. But I think even though obviously I've said about it's important not to concede, I think if you can concentrate on not conceding, then if you do concede, you're only going to concede 1, maybe 2 max. But for me, like we'll have to go with the same scoreline, aren't we? Because 1-1 was my guess as well. What I was going to go for.
And goal scorer?
All right, cool. Yeah, sweet. Goal scorer, Josh Murphy, I think. But I did see something about Messino potentially making some changes, and I've saw some people lose their mind. But I'm not sure he's talking about the wholesale changes, because obviously I know we've got Cardiff on Tuesday.
I suppose, do we play O'Sheesh?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Any changes he does make now, if he brings in like O'Sheesh and plays like that, it's not really weakening the side that much, is it? I suppose so. The reason we got these players in.
Think, we'll probably talk a little, because obviously it wasn't there Monday in the end. A little bit later on about the transfers. But I do think Atkinson and Ashish are two that have definitely improved us.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think for me, for the other players as well, it was just bringing other players in for the squad that you could bring on and say, do you know what, that's fine. I'm okay with them coming on. I'm okay with them starting. Because I don't think, even though we should have and you want to, I don't think we were ever going to improve ridiculous amounts, because I just don't think the money's there to do it, and I don't think the players are there to do it in January. If we were going to get players like that in, it had to be in the summer. But yeah, for me,
there's no money there.
No,
I don't think they want to spend the money.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that. Yeah, the money's not there, as in like they're not willing to overspend that much. But what I was thinking about today is I think that if we'd have started the season with the squad we have now, I think we would have been such a better position going into January, where we didn't have the best summer, in my opinion. We were kind of scrambling, I felt, in January. But yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, going off on a tangent. But yeah, 1-1, Josh Murphy.
Lovely. So I'm going to also go for a 1-1 draw.
Ooh.
But I'm going to go for Ushish to score on his debut.
Nice.
See that?
Right.
Last time we all said the same score, didn't we? Wasn't that the West Brom game?
Probably.
That doesn't sound good.
We all went 1-1.
Yes, that was. We all went 1-1 then as well.
Woo! Can't wait for the 20-0 on Saturday now.
Well, speaking of high score lines, Cardiff. Last time out, they got absolutely struck away, tonked on by Leeds 7-0. That was horrendous, really. But there was a couple 7-0 scorelines that week, wasn't it? Because it was Forest beat Brighton as well.
Yeah.
Well, Cardiff. So that was they were in good form before that. Obviously, it might involve the cup. I'm not sure. We got a draw at home to Watford, beating Swansea in the South Wales derby, a draw away to Millwall, and then beating Derby at home 2-1. So beating the teams that they need to beat, really. And then they went into Ellen Road and got absolutely smashed up. So they are 1 place and 1 point above us. So their record is basically the same, apart from 1 draw over our losses. Their goal difference is 2 worse because of that scoreline. I'm not sure who they're playing quickly. Who are they playing midweek?
They got FA Cup, didn't they?
They're away to Stoke at the weekend.
Yeah. Do you think they'll put out a good side for that? Like,
yeah.
The FA Cup, do you think they'll just, because it's not an inspiring draw, they might put out a weaker side out?
If I was them, I wouldn't play a strong team. You'd think we'd be the one they're looking at, especially as it's a big game.
Yeah, and especially after the result on the weekend. Like, last thing you want to do is lose 1 or 2 players this weekend in the FA Cup, which is a competition they're not going to win, and then be weaker when they come down to us on Tuesday. It'd be a bit silly for them to do that.
That's it. But nevertheless, I'm hoping that their resting players is going to do the same as what we did and backfire. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Pompey win with a Josh Murphy goal.
Well, I think...
I forgot about the ref. Hang on.
Oh.
The ref for that game was Tom Neild. He has done 13 matches for us, 9 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. And the most recent games for us. Oh, good. Another game where we got tonked. 6-1 away to Stoke was his last game he refed us.
Joy.
So, Joy.
I
Daz, it's your turn to go first on this one.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Yeah, it's my turn.
Oh, boo.
I hope we are not going into the Cardiff game with the same kind of like feeling we had when we went into the Millwall game. I know, obviously, they're both, when you say must win, they're games that we really should be and want to be picking up wins, especially at home, as we said, with our record at home. But I feel that the atmosphere against Millwall kind of didn't really help us, I don't think, because obviously the result from the weekend, it kind of heaped loads of pressure on, and I think like the fans were feeling it. I think maybe the players might have felt it as well, because I don't think any of those players against Millwall had a particularly good game. But yeah, I think if we can get a positive result on Saturday, I can see us going in on Tuesday, and I can definitely see us winning.
Big bit of momentum that would take, wouldn't it?
Exactly. I think if we get absolutely pumped on Saturday, then that could be counterproductive for Tuesday, even though people would agree that going to Sheffield United and getting anything is massive. So us losing is not outrageous. If we lost 1 or 2 or something, or 1 or 2-1 or something like that, people would understand it, and I don't think that it'd pile on as much pressure on for Tuesday. But obviously, because I've gone for a 1-1 on Saturday, I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go 3-1 Pompey, and I'm going to go. Who did you say goal scorer, Harry?
Murphy.
I'll go Bishop then, please. Yeah, let's do that.
Russ.
I've watched a lot of Cardiff this season. They like to play out from the back. That suits us. They do score. I'll give them that. So I'm going to go 2-1. And I'm going to go for... Have you gone for Murphy and Bishop, both of you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always hard on a Tuesday to know when certain players are definitely going to play or not. I'm going to go Lang. Fuck it.
I don't see why Lang wouldn't play.
Yeah, I'd imagine he would play. Well, I was thinking more Richie, but I don't know which one he's going to play in. So I decided to go Lang. It's a safer bet.
That is a very good shout. Right, that is the predictions done. Russ. Haz versus Daz, please.
Yep. So I've gone for a Premier League quiz this week. You got 10 questions. Buzz in, Haz and Daz, if you think you know the answer. Okay.
Let's go.
Question 1. Who has made the most Premier League appearances?
Haz.
Yep.
James Milner.
Incorrect.
I'm torn between 2 people. I'm going to go Daz, and I'm going to go Ryan Giggs.
No, it's Gareth Barry.
Oh, that was the other one. Bollocks. That was my other one. Okay, never mind.
I always get mixed up between Milner and Barry.
This one, actually, you'll get a point if you can name any of these clubs. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Bent, that's Darren Bent's brother, I doubt you've heard of him.
No, haven't.
Has played for the most Premier League clubs. How many? And then a point if you can name any of the clubs he played for.
Has.
Yep.
6.
Incorrect.
Oh, gee. How many? Like, I know 2 clubs off the top of my head.
You only get the points for the clubs if you can get the correct number first.
He's played for the most amount of Premier League clubs.
Yeah. How many clubs has he played for?
7.
No, it was 8. So you both missed a chance there.
I was going to say like Charlton, Ipswich. I don't know who the others are, to be honest. That's what I meant.
It was Palace, Blackburn, Ipswich, Leicester, Everton, Charlton, Wigan, Wolves.
Right, that's fine.
Right. Who has scored the most Premier League hat-tricks?
Haz.
Yep.
Shearer.
Incorrect.
What?
Premier League hat trick. See, this is like one of those. I'm going to go left field with this. So Daz, I'm going to go Andy Cole.
No, incorrect.
Rooney, is it?
No, Sergio Aguero.
Is it?
Yeah. 13.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
terrible so far.
It is terrible.
I'm overthinking it. That's a problem. Well overthinking it.
Who scored the fastest Premier League goal?
Daz.
Yep.
Is it Shane Long?
Yeah, it is, unfortunately, because it was
Scum.
for the Scum. Yep. 1-0, Daz. Next question is, which ex-Pompey player scored the first ever Premier League goal shown on Sky Sports?
Daz.
Yep.
Was it Teddy Sheringham?
It was, correct.
Boom. Because people get like sort of that question confused with the first ever Premier League goal, which was Brian Dean, I think.
Yeah, it could have been a question, and you've just given it the Haz.
Yes. Go on.
But it's not. Who has had the most yellow cards in the Premier League?
Ooh. Those yellow cards. See, I'm trying not to... Go on.
Well, then.
No, that's the most own goals, isn't it? Fuck it, we'll go for him as well. Richard Dunn.
No.
See, I'm trying to think because not like someone that's been sent off a lot, because some of those could have been like straight reds anyway. Yellow card. I'm going to go like Joey Barton.
No. So if you used your logic,
It'd have been Gareth Barry.
it would have been Gareth Barry, yeah.
I thought that had been too obvious.
That's why I put it in. Right. Who has scored the longest range goal in the Premier League?
Daz.
Haz.
Oh, that was Daz, wasn't it?
Asmir Begovic?
Correct, yeah.
Fucking hell, didn't even hear him say his name.
Yeah, he definitely got in there first.
Because too quick. Like, Daz. It's just like, can't hear it.
There's 3-0, Daz. With 3 questions left, so you need all of these Haz just to stay in the game.
Piece of cake, mate.
Who has played the most consecutive Premier League games? I'll give you a clue. Oh, yeah, go on.
Petr Cech?
No.
Oh.
I'm not allowed to get the clue now, am I?
No. He, I know he had the most...
Hang on, no, you can't do that. That'll give him the clue.
No, it's not giving a clue. He had the most consecutive clean sheets. Petr Cech.
Oh.
That's
right.
we're thinking of.
Most consecutive games. It's not Gareth Barry, is it?
Do you know what? When I saw it come up, I thought it must be Gareth Barry. Not.
Oh, right.
Do we get another go each, or is that it?
Go on, have another go each. I'll give you the clue I was going to give. It's a goalkeeper.
What was the clue?
It is a goalkeeper.
Right.
Van der Sar.
No.
David James?
No.
Oh.
I believe he almost beat it, David James. Or he had it at one point, I believe. And then this goalie came along and beat it, and that was Brad Friedel.
Really?
Yeah. 310. Who has held the most golden boots?
Daz?
Yep.
Shearer?
Nope.
Rooney?
No. Thierry Henry with 4.
See, I thought to myself that's too easy because I thought to myself he might not have played as many Premier League seasons as someone like Shearer, because obviously Shearer's been about as well, hasn't he, for ages, so maybe not.
Last question. I know you won, Daz, but for the shits and giggles, who has scored the most left-footed goals in the Premier League?
Left-footed.
Bloody hell. Haz.
Yep.
Giggsy.
No.
No, that was going to be my guess. So,
Did Giggsy even get in the 100 club, thinking about it?
I think he has, isn't he? Is he not?
Yeah. The disrespect people have on his name, saying he was overrated, actually
That's
winds me.
because he's too busy shagging his brother's wife. That's why.
I feel like that's why people say he's overrated, but that shouldn't affect what happened on the pitch.
No. Most left-footed goals. I can't think of any other left-footed players for some reason. Dennis Irwin.
He was right-footed playing.
Was he right back?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he
He
was.
was, because if he didn't move to left back, Gary Neville wouldn't have come through.
Yeah. So he's a right-footed player playing left back, and the only time he ever played left back was for Man United. Even for Ireland, he played right back.
That's what.
Well, the only other person I can think that's out and out.
I'll give you a clue.
Salah.
Yeah, go on.
Yes, it is Salah. Yeah, well done.
Ah.
I'll give you the
Right.
point, even though you still lost.
Thank you. Get a point on the board at least.
There you go. So it weren't a complete drubbing. So that is now overall. You are now 10-5 up. Overall, you created that big gap again.
Yeah. That was a poor Haz versus Daz.
It was.
That was very bad.
You wanted a more general knowledge football quiz. I gave it to you, and you still sucked.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I'm just waiting for the late season comeback.
Yeah. Well, Daz is just gonna toy with you again now.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on in, Harry. Cheer me up.
There we go. Right. So this week, this was going to be Monday, but unfortunately Russ wasn't there, so we felt it was only fair to keep it going, keep it and save it. It is a transfer deadline day special.
Nice.
I feel like if I don't get all of these, because how many deadline days have there been?
Well, that's
really?
it.
You know what I mean?
We've got 3 players that joined Portsmouth on deadline day, either in August or January.
Come on.
Okay?
Yep.
So, player number 1 and clue number 1. I made 442 appearances in a 15-year career.
Jermaine Defoe.
Incorrect.
Just think of players we signed on deadline day.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like that sort of clue just could be anyone. Michael Brown.
Incorrect.
Again,
Shout.
don't know if it is. I'm just thinking of players that had long careers.
Clue number 2. I finished my career at Grantham Town, whose nickname are the Gingerbreads. They are in the Northern Premier League Division 1 Midlands Division, which is Step 4.
Step 4, Grantham.
Finished their career. Deadline day. How many deadlines? When did the transfer windows come in? Trying to remember. Was it the first year we were in the Premier League?
It was roughly like.
Well, it might have been was it the year we got promoted? So you're looking at about 02-03.
Can you remember when Simon Jordan was? Because I was listening to Talksport the other day, and Simon Jordan said when he was in charge of Palace, there was no transfer windows. So
that was early 2000s.
Yeah.
It must have been about mid 2000s then.
I think it was about 2004, 2005. He lost Palace to Steve Parish.
Yeah.
So
it'd be about right then, wouldn't it? There's been quite a few deadlines then, isn't there, really, when you think about it? Just trying to think of players we signed on deadline day.
Who did we bring in the early days of the window? So that must have been around about the season we got promoted. that must have been when it kind of started, I think.
Well, I can remember signing like Stone in like October, so it kind of been the year we went up. But I remember like signing like Loa in January and that, so I still think it might have been the first year we were in the Premier League.
Maybe, yeah.
So let's go. I genuinely can't think of a player that we signed.
I want to go for Loa. Go for that.
Incorrect.
Oh,
I don't even know if it was a deadline day.
no,
I just remember signing him in January. Let's go for. Just trying to think of a player we signed on deadline day. Fuck, can't think of anyone. Charlie Daniels.
Incorrect. Clue number 3. I only made 3 appearances for Pompey, which were on a loan.
How many appearances did James Vaughan make?
Who are the two? So we signed the 2 Wolves lads, didn't we? Ronan and then the other lad.
He played more than 3 times there.
What, the fullback?
Oh, the fullback. He didn't play at all, did he? That French player, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he might have played 1 or 2 games though. What was his name?
Like the Shops, wasn't it, or something like that?
World Cup winner.
Yeah. What was that last question? My mind's gone completely blank.
I made only 3 appearances for Portsmouth, which were on a loan deal.
James Vaughan.
Incorrect.
Dear Lord.
All on you then, Daz.
Who did we loan?
Go for it. Go for the Wolves guy.
Stuart O'Keefe? I don't know.
Incorrect.
Who was it then?
Damien McCrory.
Well, was he the keeper?
No, he was a fullback.
Oh, was he the one that we had that player from Huddersfield get injured, and then we brought him in to replace him, and then he got injured.
Yes. We got him on loan from Burton.
That's right. Yeah, I remember now.
I can't remember him.
We could have been there all night. I never would have got there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that one.
Right, player number 2. I was born in Southwark in London, but the country I represent is Sierra Leone, or I played for.
We can't have had many Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone.
I can get my hell out then. Can't have had many Sierra Leone players.
Who did Loa represent?
Congo, Dominican Republic of Congo.
Sierra Leone.
When Josh Koroma, Sierra Leone, and he signed on deadline day. I'm going for it, Josh Koroma.
Wow, that is unreal.
Good lad.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Good lad.
So the other 2 clues.
He was the only Sierra Leone, I can't say that word, player I could think of. And there was that other one that played at right back when we were shit in 2012 and 13. But I can't remember his name. He was really fast. I remember that.
Was he the lad? Did he score against or set up the goal against Oxford away in like the Papa John's Trophy, whatever you called it at that time?
Possibly.
So cool. The other 2 clues I had for Josh Koroma were I came through the academy of Leyton Orient and went on to make 95 appearances, scoring 18 goals.
I think I would have got it then.
And the third one was I played under the same manager at Pompey as I did at another club in my career.
Yeah. I think I would have got the Leyton Orient one because I remember there was a lad playing for the team I played for, and he was from like London with the surname Koroma. And when I saw the surname Koroma for Leyton Orient, I asked a few of the people at my club. I was like, he's no relation to that lad, is he? Because they're both from London. But no.
Right.
Yeah, I got that one. The last one could have been there all night.
Right, so your last one is clue number 1. My father was the frontman of R&B group Soul to Soul.
Oh, fuck's sake, I know
That's
this.
easy.
Who is it? What's his name?
Romeo. Was it Romeo?
Oh, yeah.
Romeo.
Marlon Romeo. Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
Well done.
Well done.
We'll
So you got 2 out of 3. That's not bad. Not bad.
take that. We never would have got the first one.
What were the other 2 clues for that one, Harry?
My father is Antiguan and my mother is Ghanaian, but I represent the former at international level.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have probably. Well,
I wouldn't have got that one.
I can remember. I think the news did the story on his dad, didn't they?
Yeah.
So,
And I played 35 times for Pompey, scoring 0 goals on loan.
See, I think if you'd have gone
Other
all
way
those
round.
clues the other way round, I think we probably wouldn't have got. I wouldn't have got it to the last one for definite.
should have had a question of who did my son walk out when he was an mascot with?
Was it Romeo? Was it?
Was it?
There we go. Right. Harry's Who Am I? Done for another week. Right, so let's go on to a bit of transfer news. So obviously myself and Daz did a transfer deadline day special. And right at the end, coincidentally, I was talking about Will Norris, and it came out that we ended his deal here so he could sign for Wickham. Felt a little bit odd that we didn't or couldn't get a fee for him. It kind of felt a little bit sour tasted. But we move on, and it's a bit gutting, really. But, you know, the other players that also left, we'll come back to them, don't worry. The other players that also left was Tom McIntyre went to Charlton on loan for the rest of the season, which I think
Good for him.
I think it's suitable for all parties, let's say. And right on deadline day, as the deadline day closed, Owen Moxon left to move to Stockport County on a permanent deal, which we got an undisclosed fee for. And obviously, we also coming in was KD Gordon on loan for the rest of the season from Liverpool, which takes us to 6 loans. So my first question, which will go to Daz first, will be, when all your loans are fit, which one do you leave out?
I suppose it probably. I'm hoping that Messino will look at it as in who we're playing against and who we're going to need more and that kind of scenario. Probably at the moment, O'Mahony would probably be, if you asked me to take one out of the squad now, just based on the importance of the other players. Like obviously, I know KD Gordon. I know he played at Norwich for a couple of 10 appearances, so I don't know whether that means he started X amount of games or whatever. But obviously, with striking options and stuff like that, you've got Waddingham now. So it depends on where they see Waddingham compared to O'Mahony. And obviously, KD Gordon then gives obviously another option on the wing. So, yeah, I'm as I said, I would like to think that Messino would look at it at a game by game basis, who we're playing against, who he thinks is more likely to get an opportunity, and obviously other injuries that we've got within the squad at the time. Because there's no point in having KD Gordon on there if you're packed full of all your like attacking players, but you haven't got another number 9. Because in that case, you'd want to put O'Mahony on the bench, wouldn't you? So, yeah, at the moment, if I had to look at it, it's probably O'Mahony. But I mean, that's just me guessing. Also, at the same time.
No, I
Russ?
think you're bang on. I think he's bang on. I think there's less need for O'Mahony. As cruel as it sounds, football is a harsh thing. Maybe they don't rate him. The chance of sending him back or them recording him is gone. He misses out. I looked back the other day when the Yengi was fit. He started ahead of him, which is a telling sign of as well. So surely that means that he's the one that misses out and only gets in the squad if there is an injury or suspension to one of the loanees.
Okay, I think I probably agree with you. I think it might depend on game by game, but Atkinson, Potts, Hayden are all guaranteed to be there. Then you'd think Gordon is probably going to be in there because you wouldn't bring him in unless he was going to be in there anyway. Omani is probably the one you kind of sacrifice unless you need him. Maybe you dip him in and out.
And I think O'Sheesh probably makes the team more often than not as well.
Absolutely. So it's an interesting conundrum, but I'm glad we don't have it.
It's one of those where you feel bad for the player because he's come here to develop. It hasn't worked out. He's kind of stuck now. But the club have to do what's right for the club at the end of the day, and if it means sacrificing him, at the end of the day, doesn't affect us long term.
And that is a perfect segue onto the people that have left.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go. We'll go Russ first time. We'll go to your thoughts on Will Norris and Owen Moxon as they both left permanently.
It's the right thing for Norris. Don't get me wrong. You always have a big place in my heart. I'm sure your boys and most of the fans. He was part of that incredible year last year. He pulled off some good performances in League One, but he's just not a Championship goalie. And if we're serious about staying in this league, it's the right thing to do for him as well. I want him. I don't even like the fact he's not even been on the bench. You know what I mean? Clearly, there's been some issues. This one I do believe that maybe there was a bit of a rift between him and Messinho after the Stoke game. I find it odd that he was completely dropped, not even to the bench. You go from 1 to 3rd overnight is a bit of a telling sign, really, isn't it? With Moxon, it was one of them where I kind of had enough hoping he would come on. If he'd stayed, it wouldn't have bothered me because it just is another body and he can do a job if need be. But the fact we got a fee for him, good for the player and all. Again, happy memories with him. Good luck to the kid.
Yeah, I think again with Norris, it did feel like it was a bit of sour grapes moment because it was such a he was such a pivotal part to last season. The save that always kind of sticks with me was that save down low when we were 0-0 at home to Carlisle towards the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And
I
the
mean,
extra
it's like the
one in the last minute.
88th minute or so, and he got down really low to his right, which was ironically probably his weaker side. But he got down low and put it around, and then a mere few minutes later, the Shockness monster goes up the other end and scores a winner. And it was moments like that last season that he did that enabled us to be where we were. But unfortunately, this season he hasn't done it, but Schmid has. Kind of going along the same lines with that save against Swansea. And there's certain saves and one v ones that we've had where he's had this season that I definitely feel that if it was Will Norris in goal, unfortunately, we would have conceded a few more than we have. And as much as I loved Will Norris, I feel a lot calmer with Schmid on the ball than I did with Norris. Norris never particularly I don't think he felt comfortable with the ball at his feet, and I think he kind of admitted that himself because he was kind of at the end of the traditional goalkeeper spectrum, and where football changed as an older keeper, he had to adapt and learn how to play with his feet.
He admitted, didn't he? If he didn't learn to adapt, he wouldn't be playing.
Well, exactly. So it's a shame it ended this way, but again, as you said, Russ, football is a harsh sport, and they had to do what's best for the team, not the player. And the time he has played, he didn't do well enough to show he's a championship player. And I really hope he goes and gets promoted with Wickham. And there's no vitriol for us as fans against him because he didn't do anything wrong. And if there was any issue with Messino, we haven't heard anything of it. It's been kept in house. He hasn't done any silly social media posts or anything about the fact he has been dropped down to third choice. He's kept working hard, being an ultimate professional, and I think we thank him very much, and I really hope it works well. With Moxon, for me, I was surprised he went because I thought he was probably he definitely has something he could have offered, more so than Kamara for me. But again, it's probably down to individual playing time of him.
But also, I think getting a fee for him as well.
Yeah, and we only paid 100k for him, so I would imagine we've made that at least, and probably a bit more. The only thing I can think of as well, for a personal side, obviously moving from Carlisle all the way down here is a long old way, and kind of going to Stockport is kind of a hell of a lot closer back to home. But also, if he was to stay, he would have been 5th choice midfielder. So again, he's not going to really have played. So again, it's going to get him minutes. And look, Stockport, I know, no mean feat. You know, they're a decent team, and they're going to be there or thereabouts, trying to push up in. I think they're in the playoffs or mid-table. So again,
I've seen a lot of League One fans say that with the Moxon signing, they now have the best midfield three because they play with three in the midfield. So that's a compliment.
Yeah, they got Norwood and that, is it Bat or Bate? When you say the lad, so they've got a quality that's like Norwood himself is one of the top performers, like not just in the EFL, but he's done pretty decent when he's been in the Premier League. So
yeah,
they've
that's
got
it.
some a good mixture of like experience and youth in that as well.
Absolutely. So with them, I think we kind of just hope that they push on and get proper game time in their system, because they deserve to be playing. And League One is probably their best level where they can kind of be at their best. But I think they had a go in the Championship, and ultimately it didn't work.
Yeah, I think with the sorry, quick one, just with the Norris and the fee thing. So obviously, that did a rounds a bit, and I did tweet some about it and things like that. I just think that I'm guessing because he didn't go to Barnsley, did he? Because he didn't want to go there. But from what I saw, that we had actually had a fee agreed with Barnsley, so we were trying to get a fee for him. But obviously, like I think it was a fact that Will Norris didn't want to move up to Barnsley. He probably wanted somewhere closer to home. He got that through Wickham, but Wickham probably weren't interested in paying like a great fee for him. And then if you hold on to him until the summer, he's a 32-year-old goalkeeper with a year left on his contract. You're getting you don't get a lot of money for keepers in the Premier League compared to outfield players. You're not really getting a great deal from him in the summer. So for what he did last season, I think it's only right to, especially when he's dropped down to third choice. I think it's only right just to cancel contract, just let him go. I'd want to get money for him, but in the long run, you might be saving money with him off the wage bill. Then we've got that lad in from Barnsley who I would probably guess is on less money, so it might even itself out a little bit anyway.
That's it, and you would probably think that even though he's only a kid, Gordon's wages from Liverpool are going to be fairly high as a kid, because he's at a Premier League club on loan. And also, oh no,
fuck's
sake,
2-0.
No, he's given a penalty.
You're way ahead of me.
He's you're gonna think that his wages might be higher, and again with O'Shea's, his wages could be higher, so it could balance out really. So the only other one was Tom McIntyre, which I think after the performances he'd had, I think he'd probably run his course here. I know it's only on loan until the end of the season, but I can't remember if his contract's up in the summer or not.
I'm not sure.
I don't think it is. I think he's got another year left.
I was going to say, I'm sure he's got another year.
There's another year or another half a year, because a 2-year contract sounds like it's a contract we would do in League One.
No, it'd have been 2.5 probably until the summer, because you wouldn't normally do a contract to end in the middle of the week.
Of course you wouldn't. Yeah, very good point.
But again, he'll probably do all right under Nathan Jones. So
I hope he plays better, because don't get me wrong, he doesn't seem the sort of lad that was like an arsehole. And that's the thing with most of these players. They're not like a Tal Ben Aim, are they? They're just it hasn't worked. And I hope he goes there and does well and then gets a move somewhere else, because again, we could maybe get a little fee out of it and stuff like that. You never know. Charlton might want to take him back after.
you know what one really winds me up? Like, don't get me wrong, we've all had our opinions on McIntyre. And people are allowed to say they don't rate a player. Of course, of course not. But why on earth, when Charlton announced the transfer, did I click on the comments and all I saw was a hell of a lot of Pompey fans saying he's fucking shit. Blah, 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 you signed a terrible player. Why can't you all just say, it didn't work out, but fair play, good luck?
It's because it's probably. I reckon if you ask them, the people that tweeted that, it's probably because they've seen other fans do it to other clubs, or when we've signed a player like Shock Nessie or something, and people would say, "Oh, he's no good," this, that, and the other. Like people just bounce it around, and they think, "Oh, I'm going to do it," or it's edgy to be a bit of a twat, isn't it? Let's face it.
Nah, I used to think that when I was 18, maybe, but not.
But that's it. Majority of them probably are 18, to be honest. Or not even that.
I know. I think actually, sadly, they're all older, which is what annoys me more. It's I don't know. It just. Did I rate McIntyre? No. Have I got anything personal against him? No. Do you know what I mean? Do I want him to fail everywhere he goes? No. If he goes on and plays well at Charlton, good luck to him. I hope he does.
Look, we signed the geezer for 70k, didn't we? Like, it wasn't his fault that he had his ankle snapped 50 odd minutes into his debut. He could have ended up. He could have played a pivotal part in our season last year. It just so happens that he got injured.
And that's the thing. Up until that injury, I thought he did pretty well against Northampton. And you never know. Like, if he had played the whole that end of that season, he might have just been consistently good, been better, then gone into a pre-season with the confidence of getting promoted, probably winning the league. And then you never know, he could have been a completely different player start this season. I know people would go laugh at that and do this, that, and the other. But for me personally, I think
that's where mentality comes in.
Mentality and confidence.
And for me, he doesn't have it. But that's just my opinion.
Also, again, he is another one that didn't have a proper pre-season.
Yeah.
So he came back with Regan Poole again, different injuries, but similar circumstance where it was a long-term injury and they didn't have proper pre-seasons with the rest of the squad. They didn't get to have many minutes kind of building up. They just kind of almost came in and went, "You're in," because we have no other centre-backs. So he came in and kind of did a job. It wasn't the desired effect, but again, we paid 75k for the lad. I don't really give a shit. If it was the money we spent on Marquise, or if it was the money we spent on Hayden Matthews, say over £1 million, and then he stinks the place out, then you can think, yeah, you need to do better. But I know we took advantage, and we wouldn't have got if Reading weren't in a financial hole. I know we'd have had to pay more, but we took advantage of a club that we're able to be taken advantage of, just like clubs did with us back in the day. That's just how it works.
Yeah, and we needed just someone to come in, didn't we?
Exactly. So, again, I hope he's still on our books as well. He's still our player right now.
Yeah.
So, we don't know what league we're going to be in, and we might end up needing him next year. He might become a squad player or a starter next year, depending on what happens. We don't know. If we go down, if we go down, we might need him. So don't just batter the shit out of the poor bloke. He knows it won't have gone as well as he wanted as well. He knows his performances won't have been as good as he wanted or good enough for what we need. So there's no point in just battering people for no reason. And we should know as well, as Daz said, players we've signed where they've come in and the clubs we've signed them from, or previous clubs or loan clubs, and gone, they're shit, good luck, all this. And then they've come here and done really well. So
I'll drive him down personally to the ground. I'll drive him down personally. It's like, shut up, you melt.
Just wait until you see him in a shirt, isn't it? Like, you might not. Yeah, you can. You can not be happy with the transfer. I think that's okay to say. I'm not exactly. I'm not that overwhelmed with KD Gordon coming in, but I want to be proved wrong. I hope I am proved wrong, because I want it to work out and I want us to stay up. And if we do, he will play some kind of part in that. But I'm underwhelmed by it, no doubt.
I'm underwhelmed pretty much by a whole window, to be honest.
So let's move on to that then. We've done the outgoings. We'll go to the incomings, and that last one was Gordon. So you say underwhelmed as well, Russ? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I think I said it earlier. Atkinson and Hayden have definitely improved the team, and probably Oshish as well. Sorry, and then you got we don't know with Matthews. Don't be wrong. He started his first game. I thought he was excellent. I thought he'd come on Saturday. Didn't look out of place, which is I always say is hard for a centre back coming on during a game. I think it's the second hardest position to come on. The other being a goalie. And he came on and you still would have thought Shot Nessie was on the pitch. And obviously Waddingham, we don't know. There for the future. Are they going to work? Are they going to not? And then you've got Gordon, which, if you listen to Norwich fans, he's no good. I still think we needed a real kind of statement signing. Not necessarily go out and spend millions, but just like another sort of Hayden sort of signing that, but in attack, I still worry about our attack a little bit. I'm trying to think of who else we signed. There's one more in there. I think I mentioned 5 names. Is it 6 we signed?
The
left back.
Bramall, yeah.
Yeah, and that was sensible business. So I'll give them that. That that made total sense. Needed a backup. Decent championship experience, someone that can offer us something a little bit different. So, yeah, it's all just been a bit, yeah. I mean,
I think it could have been. I think it could have been better. I think we've done okay.
Yeah. But when you look around, it gives me the same feeling it did. When you go around your mates and they've all got proper Coca-Cola, but then your mum brings home fucking cheap cola from Aldi or something. I mean,
Panda Pops.
Yeah, do you know what I mean that's the sort of, and then you get the bullshit from Cullen of, oh, we're so grateful for this is the most we've been financially backed. It probably is, but it doesn't mean it's enough.
Yeah, and just because he said, oh, the budget's gone up a lot since the summer. It's like, yeah, but if your budget was shit to start off with, what do you expect?
Exactly.
Our budget was the lowest, or is one of the 2 lowest in the league in the summer. I think it was us and Oxford were at the bottom.
I think we still are. I think they put out the other day. I think we've gone
still
above
going to
Oxford
be.
now.
I'm not expecting us to go and spunk millions, but there is a difference between cheaping it, and then there's a difference between backing the manager and the players and putting and showing some intent, to then there's also a difference from that to just ploughing money in and just being stupid.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's a couple of clubs that have piled money in, and people going, "Oh, look at that club," and it's like, yeah, but they've signed a load of shitters. Doing.
I think if we'd signed a proper out and out championship level right winger, I'd have been pretty content.
Yeah,
but
I think
a player that has failed at championship level so far this season. Admittedly, I know Norwich are looking at higher in the table, but ultimately he's not pulled up any trees this year. To then go and sign him, that would be like if another championship side went and signed Sammy Silvera. Why would you do that when they've not worked out at this level? Silvera's now dropped down a level, and hopefully it works there. But he should have also gone down a level. So to sign someone who's already failed at your level and then sign them again, again, there's no disrespect to Gordon. I'm sure he's a cracking player, but it just doesn't fill me with much confidence.
I think that we've because I pretty much not talking about Gordon here, but I pretty much said the same thing about when the window closed. I was hoping for that extra player with a little bit extra X factor, a bit like, do you mean championship experience, if not championship experience, like mainly predominantly Premier League experience, just someone to come in and who's gonna, no signings guaranteed, is it? But you're going to be more confident in that they can produce. I don't think we could have done anything other than loan that player if we were going to get him in, because I just don't think those kind of players are out there to get on a permanent in a January window, and especially that late in the window as well. I think those sort of deals have to be done earlier. So I would have, Louis Barry, it's Louis Barry, isn't it? The one that sort of stopped Paul's hole.
Yeah.
For some reason, Louis Barry just didn't sound right in my head. I think Louis Barry, I know he hasn't played the Championship, but if you were to choose Louis Barry or that Gordon lad, you'd probably go Louis Barry, wouldn't you? But we'll see. This Cade Gordon, I know, obviously didn't particularly work out with him at Norwich, but hopefully Hughes and that have looked at him and said, look, like where Norwich have used him might not have been right, and we can get the best out of him here. Because obviously Richie's going to be starting predominantly, and Hughes doesn't play out on the right all, does he? Is he like either on the left or number 10, isn't he? So I don't think it's a challenge for him out on the right to play. So yeah, I think it could have been better, but as I said, I think I said before the window even opened, I was like, I'd be happy with every player we get in being a loan, as long as these loans are good enough to keep us up. And in January, that's usually what you kind of have to go for. But apart from Gordon, I'm pretty happy with the way we went about the window. Not with Dixie happy, but I'm content, I suppose is the word. But yeah, I think I think I called it like a 6.5/7. I'm not sure if you guys agree with that or not, but
I'll probably go more 5 to 6.
Yeah, I was thinking more 5.5 to 6.
But that and that's the thing, though, isn't it? Like a window's only a good window when it's the end of the season and you've either succeeded or you haven't. So this Cade Gordon, he might go on for us to be an absolute great signing. Obviously, at the moment, you can only take signings as they come right now, and obviously, yeah. I don't disagree that the like 5 or 6 as well. Like, do you mean my 6.5 to 7 isn't like overly confident 6.57, but I'm trying to think that with Atkinson, Hayden, and Ashish are kind of those 3 players that I think have that X factor to potentially keep us up.
I think the reason I'll probably go to a 6 is just because of the fact that we were able to get rid of 3 players at the end of the window.
See, whenever I assess windows, I never look at the outgoings. I always only assess the ingoings.
No, because I think the outgoings needs to be taken in. It needs to be brought into context, doesn't it?
Because I would add outgoings if we sold a player for a lot of money,
or if those players leaving meant we got in a much better player.
I just think the players that were going to, like, if all suddenly, like say Murphy or Bishop left or Lang, and we didn't replace them, that would alter my thinking of a window. But the players that have gone for me make no difference to the window because they should be going.
But if we then sat here and didn't have, or we still had them on our books and we were,
but they won't play
overblown. Yeah, but if we were overblown on the bloody hell, on the amount of players we can have, or if we didn't get rid of those, that meant that we couldn't get Oshish or someone like that.
Yeah,
then
it's good. I only ever really look at it from an incoming. If I had to add the outgoings, I'd probably make it a 6.
And that's why I've gone. That's why I'm a 6. I think just because I think that's where we're at. But is there anything else, lads, you want to add before we end?
I wanted to ask. So we got 17 games left, correct?
Yes.
Was it 16? 16, because we're on 30.
Oh, so 16 games left, yeah? Right.
16, yeah.
So I'm going to ask the same question 6 games time, because I think we would have seen enough of all the new boys to kind of have an idea. At this moment in time, we're relegated. Who are you blaming?
Lack of funds. It goes to the ownership.
Yeah, I agree, because I just if because the thing was in the summer, even though obviously I think I said this, that even though obviously maybe the lack of funds is there, could Hughes have spent that money a bit better? And I think in this January transfer window, I think he has spent it a lot better. Like even with the loans, obviously, because that's part of the financial package he'd have. Obviously, apart from Gordon, like I think the others are like pretty much good, like players to bring in. Obviously, Gordon might become good, but yeah, for me, I think if we did get relegated, I think it's the owners you look at.
I feel the summer and the winter windows are, when you actually like think about it, they're kind of similar. Or they could at least work out to be similar. So, if I'm thinking around now, who do we sign in the summer? So you had
Kamara.
You had your likes of Kamara. You brought in like Kamara and
Giselle.
Blair. That's your Waddingham and Matthews. You've got your Hayden and Atkinson. That's your Dazels and people like that. Then we brought Schmidt in, who was a good signing, but then we also did a terrible loan in Severa, which could be the same for Gordon. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's quite actually a bit of similarity between them both. Overall, I think you could definitely say the summer window was probably more bad than good.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think with this window, obviously, we seem to have, like, we've kind of replaced those bad ones that we kind of did in the summer, or just sort of, we have replaced most of them, but we brought in better. So I think we're definitely stronger now than we were from the summer, which would then, for me, insinuate that we've had a better window this one than last.
Definitely. But I also think part of the reason why we definitely look better is we finally getting our players fit.
yeah, and
which obviously helps.
And I think our loan signings in this window have been more like, obviously, as I said, I'm going to go back to Gordon, but the other like loan signings have been pretty, like, sort of emphatically quite pretty good. Like, do you mean as in with the experience and stuff like that? I mean, who did we bring in on loan?
I think the only one that's done well on loan in summer is Potts, isn't it?
Yeah. So this one here, you've already got Atkinson and Hayden that have done well. Anushi, I can't say his fucking name.
If you go by Andrew Moon, it's O'Sheesh.
O'Sheesh, okay, like O'Sheet. So if like O'Sheesh looks like he should do well, obviously it's never guaranteed. But those 3 loan signings themselves, I think, are better as a combination than all the loan signings we made in the summer, personally.
And I think when I say, it might be styled on Speak Future, when I say who's at fault, it's not the owners aren't, or the backing from the owners and the board isn't solely at fault, because Messina has got things wrong at points, which is not a lot, but he has. And it's, for example, West Brom and Cardiff, that was on him, but also I completely understand why he did what he did. I think the players at times have also let themselves down and let us down, just because some of the performances, especially away from home, have not been acceptable, whether you're good enough or not to maintain a championship game. Some of those performances have been absolute dross and have been dog shit and have not been. That is not a fault of anyone apart from the players. Them going out there and stinking the place out is on those players that are selected, whether the board have bought them or whether it's Messino's team selection. He's put them out there because he believes they should be good enough. If they've decided to not turn up, that's on them.
Yeah,
So
and the thing
there's fault to everyone if we were to get relegated.
Yeah,
There's fault to the players, Messino, the coaching staff, Rich Hughes, Cullen, and the board. But the majority, if we were to go down, the majority of it would lay onto the finances provided for Hughes and Messino. But at the same time, if we stay up, I think the plaudits should go to Messino and the players for kind of...
Messino deserves the key to the city.
Yeah, I think working miracles is maybe a little bit too high, but it's not too far off of that.
No. And the thing
I think it is, considering the injuries we've had. You lose your best striker through a heart problem. You're losing your centre backs. How many? Paul, we've had in and out. Shot Nessie, long term injury. Bowat. It's been a nightmare.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, the fact is that our best two centre backs starting was the 13th combination. Just tells you everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's just I think that what's disappointing is and frustrating. And I know the Eisners go bang on, that they're doing it the right way, and they said this all along, and they told us they wouldn't throw millions at it, blah blah blah. But I'm a big believer in, you got to gamble. You got to throw your name in the hat. I mean, you got to
just give it a go.
Give it a chance, and you don't have to go stupid. I'm not saying when you go and spend 10 million and 15 million and stupid. Some of the prices you see now are just ridiculous for players. But I just a bit more would have made me go, okay, they've had the back in. It's on you now, Hughes, Moose, and Cullen. You know what I mean?
That's it. Well, this is what we're left with now. So I will finish off by saying, do we stay up? Daz?
Yeah, boy.
You confident we'll stay up, yeah?
Yes, mate. Might as well, innit? Otherwise, there's no point in turning up and watching. Let's be confident. Let's give it a go. See what happens. But yeah, I think we've got enough to stay up. Mainly because I also think there's 3 worse teams than us as well.
Do you agree with me that the 3 that I think will go down below us are probably Cardiff, Cardiff, Luton, and Plymouth?
Yeah, they're the 3 that I would think, even with the...
No, I would Derby.
Oh, yes, actually.
True.
Especially if they don't change Warren. It's mental that they haven't done it already.
For me, Derby and Plymouth are down.
Yeah.
At this point.
So who joins them, Cardiff or Luton?
Luton. And I've probably just been a bit biased there because of how much stuff I've watched with Cardiff. So, and with Robertson there.
Robertson, friend.
But I do when they just look better. They score goals.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think there's an issue there. Derby, I just don't see who's going to score their goals. Do you know what I mean? And I'm big what I used to say at the beginning of the season, who's scoring the goals, how he's scoring the goals. When Harry used to predict we will score 3 every game, it was like how, and then Bishop come back, and then we start scoring 3 every game. So
there we go, bit of belief. So Russ, you think we stay up?
Yeah, I think we stay up. I do think. I think there's actually 4 teams worse than us personally, and I think Cardiff is the other one.
Okay, so we're all going that we're staying up.
20th is where I've got us now.
Yeah, I don't give a shit really if we stay up because
dodgy penalty decision.
Because Abu Kamara scores a last-minute own goal off his arsehole on the last game of the season, I couldn't give a shit.
Off the actual hole, that's fucking impressive.
Well, it's Abu Kamara. He does what he likes.
He farts in the net.
I don't really care how it happens, to be honest, whether someone goes into administration or whatever.
Yeah, someone plays an illegible player.
As long as
Harry's views are his own views.
A couple of ACLs in there for a couple of people, just no problem. As long as we stay up.
The problem is the ineligible player would be one of our players, probably somehow.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So that's it. I think we stay up. We'll remain positive, unlike Spurs, who have just thrown it away. So there's the bottle jobs again for you, Russ.
They even had a shot in this half.
Yeah, just into the side netting, only one. But that is it from us then. Are we happy with that? All done?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, all good, mate.
Lovely.
Yeah, all good. Yeah,
Thank
pleasure
you
as always,
to
boys.
the guys and girls that are listening live with us, as ever. Thank you very much. If you are listening back as well on whatever platform you listen to, thank you very much for your support. We are just shy of 1,000 listens across all platforms, all podcasting platforms. That doesn't include you guys on Twitter. So hopefully after this episode, we'll make 1,000 views, listens, streams, whatever you call it. So just a massive thank you. That means a hell of a lot to us. We only started obviously this season. We haven't been going that long. We're really enjoying it, and we're glad that people are tuning in every week. So many thanks, and play up Pompey.